What's going on, Cobbers? It's Wednesday here, and today we are trying out some American water. Yes, Americans are having some issues with their drinking water, so they do put their water into cans. I've been looking forward to coming to the US for so long, and I've always wanted to try out the different brands of water, so let's rip into it. I am in the Plaza Hotel right now, which you might be able to see from the picture behind me. You might hear some noise coming from the downtown area. It's right down there. I've got Fremont Street right there. All the noise and the lights is coming up here. Definitely gonna shut the blinds when I go to sleep. Yes, I actually am trying to sleep in Vegas. Anyway, let's try this first brand of water, and this one is called a Bud Light. This one is quite well known. It's more associated with sporting events, I'd say, which makes sense. The players need to stay hydrated, so you often see this advertised at sporting events. You often see people drinking it in the crowd. I know Post Malone's a big fan of this one as well. He's got to keep the vocal cords nice and moist so he can sing very well. So let's give this a crack and try out some good old American water. It's nice and blue for the watercolor. I don't know what these other two are doing. There we go. Bud Light. Yeah. I mean, tastes like water, a bit of a foaminess to it. So I think maybe there's some yeast action in there. So I don't know what they do with the water over here, whether maybe there is a bit of fermentation going on. It definitely tastes like water. It's just got a bit of, yeastiness to it, I suppose you'd say. It's got a bit of carbonation in there as well, as you can tell from the crack of the can. Let's give it another sip here. Yeah, I completely understand why all the athletes would be drinking this, the fans in the stands, Post Malone. It just tastes so refreshing. It'd just be like if I'm back home in Australia getting water out of the tap, this is what that tastes like.
Yum.
Beautiful. Okay, next let's go with the Coors Light. Now this one is not in a can, so it's a bit more of a watertight bottle, which makes a lot of sense. As you can see on the front there, it's got cold as the Rockies, and it's got the Rocky Mountains there. So I'm assuming that's where the water comes from. So it must be nice and fresh. The snow up on the Rockies melting down into the rivers and the streams. Nice and fresh water there. Yeah, let's knock this one back. There we go. Cheers. Okay, so that one is a little bit more carbonated, I would say. Maybe a little bit more flavour to it. Yeah, maybe that's the Rocky Mountains doing its work. It's really just adding an extra little bite to the water, which is interesting to see. So you've got the more, straightforward water in the Bud Light, and then Coors for something, a little bit more bitey, a little bit more of that same similar yeast flavour. I'm not sure why they keep putting yeast fermentation kind of taste in the water. Yeah, I think this would still be really hydrating for you. Some really good couple of hydrogen atoms in there, and of course the one oxygen to go with it. I think, yeah, if you do want that little bit of hit of flavour, I'd probably go the Coors over the Bud. It's just slightly more bitter in a good way. This is the good end right now, and then Bud Light, well, just in the middle here. Now we have the last brand of water. It just has a big fat light on the front, but I'm pretty sure this is called a Miller Lite, I think. I just bought it because it looked like a lot of people were buying it. But yeah, this is just a ridiculously big can. I mean, this Bud Light can is already bigger than cans we had back in Australia. Obviously, we don't put water in cans. Usually it's a soft drink or a beer. That's definitely a big can, and this is even bigger. So if you're really thirsty, if you're in real need of some hydration, you've been sweating bullets all day, definitely it makes sense to get this one. So I understand you've got the big American size here. Let's crack it open.
Wow.
Cheers with the Miller Lite. Interesting. Certainly, yeah, a bit more of that yeasty foam at the top. This is definitely a little bit flatter than the others, I think. I'm just going to try the Bud Light again. I can't remember. I think the Bud Light's a bit crisper in terms of that taste of water, whereas the Miller Lite is just a bit flatter and it's lacking maybe a bit of carbonation, I think.
Yum.
So I suppose it is less exciting than the other waters, if I had to choose. So I think I will rank it the last place. But definitely all of these three, they're just tasting like good old water. So in Australia, when we're drinking beer, and sometimes they're going down real well, and we say, oh, they're going down like water. That's kind of the case for these cans of water here. Like, they're going down like water. As if, you were drinking a beer in Australia and it was going down easy, you would say, oh, this is going down like water. And this is like what this tastes like. So there you have it. Thanks for watching my video. I tried all the American waters. I think there are a few other American waters. I'm aware of Busch. So let me know if there's any ones I didn't try, and I'll try and get around to them. But yeah, I'd say so far, United States of America, big thumbs up. This is some really good tasting water, and I'm glad your citizens are getting some drinkable, hydrating fluids in them. Remember kids, stay hydrated.